What I want to talk to you today is I'm constantly going on about how being outdoors, and especially running in my case, is fantastically useful for my mental health. And I thought I'd explain that a little bit more. I've tried writing blogs on it before, and for some reason I just really struggle to put it into written words. So I'm hoping, I might be wrong, but I'm hoping that spoken words might be a little bit easier. So, as I explained in one of my videos yesterday, I used to have an eating disorder. And I also used to self-harm. And there's a few other destructive things that I also did that I won't go into here because some of them are 18 plus, and some of them are just not pleasant to talk about, if I'm perfectly honest. So, yeah, I was not nice to my body. I was destructive, I was horrible to it, I pretty much hated it. In a way, I wanted to destroy it. In a way, it's linked to the anxiety. Because what I wanted to do, essentially, was disappear. I was so scared that I was a burden on everyone. I was so scared that I was an issue. I didn't feel like I deserved to take up space. So I felt I had to be smaller. Now, there was more to it than that as well. There was all sorts of other complicated things of just disliking myself, and it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, it really is. It was complicated. But the point lies that I abused my body. I was not good to it. And I also exercised a lot. And we're talking addiction level. We're talking the gym at least twice a day, plus running, plus rock climbing, plus cycling, plus being at university, plus 2 jobs. I was averaging like 4 hours sleep a night. It was ridiculous, really was. When I think back on it, I honestly don't know how my body coped. So I wasn't being good to my body at all. But then I discovered that I actually really enjoyed hiking and running. I wasn't doing them just for the punishment side. I mean, I was doing them a bit for the punishment side of things. I was doing them a bit so I felt like I'd justify eating, etc. But it wasn't just that. I actually also genuinely enjoyed doing it. And then I started wanting to get better at it. There were mountains I wanted to climb. There were races I wanted to do. This was really a new experience for me. I actually had future things, plans, things that I wanted to get out of life. And as ridiculous as this might sound, that was a new experience for me. That wasn't something that I was used to feeling. So, with that in mind, I decided I wanted to actually genuinely get better at running and hiking and get fitter. And to start with, I did this all wrong. I just upped the amount I was doing, which for someone who was already a borderline exercise addict wasn't exactly the best way forward. But after a while, I learned that if I genuinely wanted to do these things that I thought I wanted to do, the only way to do that would be to actually start taking care of myself, to actually eat properly, to sleep properly, to train like a normal person and not just basically punish myself. Everything was no longer about punishment. It was about getting better. I don't mean mentally better. At the time that hadn't even occurred to me, but getting better at what I was doing. I wanted to run further. I wanted to hike further. I wanted to run faster. I love mountains. I wanted to go up every mountain. And going up a mountain when you've been doing all sorts of things to your body, it's not a safe idea. Running a race when you're doing those sorts of things to your body, not a safe idea. Running an ultra, pretty much impossible. I couldn't have done that. I was skinnier. I probably looked fitter. I couldn't have done an ultra. My body would have given up. I just didn't have the reserves. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have happened. So basically, my main motivation for recovery, even though I didn't realise that's what I was doing at the time, was running. I just wanted to run better. And I realised to do that I had to eat better. I had to stop injuring myself. I had to stop abusing my body. I had to look after myself. I honestly think if I hadn't made that realisation, I probably wouldn't be here now, if I'm perfectly honest. I'm pretty much certain that I wouldn't have recovered. And to start with, it wasn't even about recovery. I didn't realise that was happening. It just sort of snuck up on me. I just one day realised that I was no longer counting calories. I one day realised that I was going for a run because I wanted to, not because I just ate something. I one day realised that it'd been a week since I last threw up. And that was it. That was the start. That was the start of me becoming more healthy. So yeah, I mean, obviously this won't work for everyone. I'm not saying don't get treatment, just go for a run. I'm not saying that in the slightest. What I'm saying is that personally, I think running saved my life, basically. And I think that in most cases it can help. I think just being outside, just the very nature of being outside can be helpful to a lot of people. So there you go. That's my experience of it. That's my reasoning for believing that running is my saviour, essentially. That sounds really dramatic. But yeah, I honestly believe if I hadn't taken it up and if I hadn't tried to get better at it, I'd either be dead or very ill. So there we go.